Welcome to episode 202 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer,
Bitches,
and Matt Belton.
Thanks for having me.
Stupid.
I like that we started it off with a curse.
Who's, for clarification, who's the bitches?
Anybody who wants to be.
Okay.
Anybody who's a bitch, clearly.
Right. Well, they typically don't know. That's why I was asking.
Oh, bitches no. bitches know they bitches.
What is happening already on this show? It's terrible. Happy late Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it feels warm and very family-like with the way Dan started off.
Yep.
So
It should. That's about how the conversations went around the dinner table. So
I think you know what he's thankful for already.
Right.
what's that? Bitches
Non-bitches.
Yeah. Right, non-punk
or
ass
non-bitches?
bitches.
Yeah, people who ain't mark-ass tricks.
Right. Hey guys,
Whatever that means.
thanks for not being punk ass bitches. As always.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who you are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bitches know they bitches. Like I said,
I don't know what's happening right now.
we're conversing.
My Thanksgiving didn't go like this.
No.
No. I'll tell you, so my grandmother passed away like 2 months ago, and this is the first Thanksgiving without her. And so everybody decided to honor her by making all the things that she made.
Mm-hmm.
Only they don't know how.
Oh.
So everything was like, if they would have just made the stuff they know how to make, it would have been better than trying to make her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go into specifics because they potentially listen to this podcast. But things weren't as good as they could have been.
Was that the discussion, or did everybody eat and go like, man, it's just like grandma?
Yeah, that's what happened. Everybody's like, man, spot on. Nailed it.
Nailed it. And then under your breath, you're like, could have used about a pound of salt, jackass.
No, it was, and I don't even know what was wrong with it. It just wasn't the same. Like, it's never going to be the same.
Right. I just want you to know you did it wrong.
Right. So I ate it all, but all I could think the whole time was, no, it's not right.
Right.
And I wanted to say something. Not to be mean, but so that they could understand, like, whatever that you would cook, the way that you would cook it would probably be better. Like, if you just made the same thing with your recipe, it would probably be better than trying to recreate this.
It's time it's time for some decisions.
It's time for some new traditions, right? You just do this never again and do your thing from now on.
Right.
We did a new tradition this year. I don't like my family. I don't like if you're not like my
That's
mom.
A lie. You do too.
It's very true. If you're not,
he means
my mom,
immediate. He means like
my mom, my stepdad, my dad, and my little brother. Like, that's about it as far as my blood relative families that I can stand. Everybody else, we didn't grow up together. I don't really know them other than at family reunions. I don't want to be around them. So this year, the new tradition was my mom and my stepdad came to our new house in Chattanooga for Thanksgiving. And so we put on dinner, which was not as stressful as everybody has always made Thanksgiving out to be. I remember like Mom and Mimi, my grandmother, putting on Thanksgiving, and it would be like a 4-day ordeal. Like, they're thawing turkeys and they're cooking pot pies and all this other shit for like a week.
You were only cooking for 4 people, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, but it still wasn't. We started cooking an hour before we ate.
Yeah, my story's better than yours.
Yeah, and the new tradition of not having anybody that I didn't like around was probably the best decision this year.
Yeah, there's probably something to be said for that, but if you were cooking for 40 people, you would have had to start way earlier.
For example.
Yeah, but I don't like 40 people, so.
Speaking of 40 people.
Me either.
Actually, it has nothing to do with 40 people. It's just more than 4.
Okay.
So we moved into a new house last Saturday, and on Thanksgiving hosted 25 people.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
I agree.
Did you have a little say in it, though?
Not a lot, no.
Well,
I didn't have
you can't be blamed. Not this year.
Whole lot of say. You know,
how did it turn out, though?
Oh, it turned out great. It went fine. Yeah, I'm not worried. My job is the turkeys. I can do that in my sleep, so no problem. I don't like making mashed potatoes and sweet potato casserole and green bean. I don't like making all that crap. I like just putting the turkey in the smoker and letting it go.
The easy part.
This being my first Thanksgiving, the thing that I was thinking of the whole time was, is everybody saying it's good, or because they're saying it, or is it actually good? Like I had
you'll never know.
No.
Yeah. So I'm probably in the boat with your family, Ryan. On people are like, yeah, it could have been better. It's not quite right.
Part of Thanksgiving is you keep your mouth shut about how the food was.
Everybody liked our food. I mean,
they would tell you that either way.
No, you can tell by their faces. You can tell when you make your food because it brightens people's faces.
No leftovers, also.
Oh, everybody took some. Everybody asked to take some.
Nice. And they went right outside and tossed that right in the garbage.
Yeah, they stopped by your tea can.
Because it was my garbage can, and I looked in it to make sure. Fucker.
Dan opens it, there's just 20 plates in there, and he's like, those motherfuckers.
20 aluminum foil wrapped plates, 80 pounds of food.
God damn it. Last Thanksgiving ever.
Yeah. I was personally about to drive to all their houses and slash their tires.
Just leave it on their front porch, be like, you forgot something.
Yeah, just turn the plate upside down on the hood of their car.
Right. Just draw the blood.
Fold it up, stick it in the mailbox like a burrito.
Yeah, I noticed you left it at the house, so I brought it to you.
Now it's a taco.
And then walk out and get in your car and peel out. I mean, sometimes you have to prove a point, and that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of work.
Nothing proves that you're mad like peeling out and ruining your own tires.
Like, yeah, especially if you're on gravel, though. If you can kick up some gravel towards their vehicle.
Makes you feel nice. Makes you,
Maybe throw a finger out the side.
Right. Nothing like committing a crime.
I mean, is it a crime?
Yeah, you intentionally throw gravel on somebody else's car.
I wasn't intending to throw the gravel.
Intentional? You accidentally put your foot on the gas too hard.
Now, if you ever do it, you have to go to jail because you just said it was intentional.
Right.
It's always intentional.
And there's an audio record of that.
All right, premeditated, really? No, you should probably stop.
So what'd you guys play? Have you played anything? We haven't talked in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I guess
is there more?
Just thinking. So I guess before we start, I had a death in my family. Thanks for everybody that reached out. That's why we didn't record last week. So that threw us off, but we obviously didn't intend to miss any, but it was rather unexpected, so that's why we weren't here. So I think the past week, I played a little Rocket League the last couple of days because I'm finally kind of like settling back down, but I played a lot of Dragon Quest Builders, a lot. Probably about 40 hours worth. I love that game. It's really, really good. Like it's going to be, it potentially is going to be my game of the year, which I know we're still a few weeks out from talking about, but that game that's really good. It's perfect for the way I like to play games and the things I like to do. You're collecting, you're building, you're hack and slash combat. It's got a story there that's not half bad. It does have some form of multiplayer that's kind of strange, but that game honestly doesn't need it for the way it's set up. And it's if you like Minecraft, if you like a good old fashioned RPG, like that game you should go buy it. It's worth every penny. I think it was on sale a lot of places for Black Friday. I think it was like $40. But yeah, that game is excellent. And like I said, I'm probably 40 hours in at this point, and I think I still have half the chapter I'm in now and an entire another chapter, which is the last chapter, so it'll probably either be really long or really short, because you never know with the last chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
But basically you start in a new area each time, and you don't know how to do anything that you learned before. You know how to make those things, but you don't have anything that you made. So the thing they do really well is you might, one of them might be kind of about combat, so you're building up all these weapons and all these armors. You go to the next one, and it's not really about fighting, it's about making medicine for people that are sick. So instead of, I play chapter 2, I think I played probably 80% of the chapter with the starting tools that it gives you, or that you can make right off the bat, like the wooden tools, because you didn't need anything better for the way that chapter was set up. So it does a good job making the focus on different things as you move on. And you just have to play each chapter like totally different. And it's not about collecting everything because you're going to move on and lose all that stuff. It's about having just enough to be able to finish it and make your base kind of how you want it. But you have to eat, things like that. You have to sleep. You don't have to, but if you stay out at night, all the bad shit comes out. So there's a day-night cycle. But yeah, it's really good. I would highly suggest it if you're into the Harvest Moon, Minecraft, or any just old JRPG. That's it for me, though.
How about you, Matt? I'm sure nothing but some wrestling a little bit here and there.
Yeah, when I could. This was with Thanksgiving and with the new job. It's been a lot of not gaming, which sucks, but that seems pretty normal for me nowadays. It's like I'm getting too old to do it anymore. There are games that I want to play, and there are games coming out that I'm very interested in, like Last Guardian's still on the way. So there are games that I'm still looking forward to. But I haven't done that thing that I do in the past, which is around this time of year kind of frivolously buy everything that's on sale, and then try to spend the year trying to play it so that I feel like I validated the purchase. But I do have that itch still. I still want to grab Battlefront while it's on sale, and there are a couple others that I've seen. Battlefield 1 is like $35, so there are games that I want to get my hands on, but mostly it's been wrestling because I can sit down and play that for 10 minutes or 10 hours, and I don't feel like it's easy to drop in and drop out on that, and that's kind of where my schedule is allowing right now. So
okay,
but that doesn't mean that there's not stuff in the future. But we'll see.
I played, before we started moving, of course, I played some more Division. No way. Big surprise.
That was on sale for $10 in a flash sale.
Yeah, it was. But I already had it.
I mean, I thought about getting it. That's how cheap that was.
Buy 2 copies when it's that cheap.
I'm really looking forward.
But then I remember I'd played it.
I'm really looking forward to the Survival DLC. That sounds really cool.
What is the Survival DLC?
Survival DLC is basically the story of it is you're going to, I think it's rescue some people from the Dark Zone, but your helicopters crash. So it's you and 24 other people spread on the outside of the map. In a blizzard, you have low-level gear, temperatures affecting you, thirst affects you, hunger affects you. So while you're trying to get to the center to complete your mission, you are also facing off against enemies. You have to find new clothes to wear, or get in shelter, or find fire barrels. You have to find, obviously, better guns. And all your clothing has like a warmth rating, so it allows you to be out in the elements, because a blizzard's taking place as well. You have to scrounge for food and water to maintain your health, things like that. So it's really got a survival aspect to it. It sounds really, really cool. I'm excited for it. It already came out on Xbox One and PC. It comes out, I think, December 22nd, December 17th, something like that. So I'm excited for that. And I picked up, while I was Black Friday shopping, first of all, I almost picked up Titanfall 2 for $27. And then I didn't.
Good story.
But I did pick up Assassin's Creed Syndicate for $14. So I played the first chapter of that, and it's Assassin's Creed in London, of course. I am not far enough into it to know. So I like the characters so far, the little bit I've got to meet them. So I'm excited to spend some more time with that. But that's about it. I'm moving, Thanksgiving, all that. Not a whole lot of time.
There are some great games on this Black Friday sale and the Flash sale. I'm just scared that with tomorrow being Cyber Monday, that there are going to be better deals on Amazon that I should hold out for. Like Far Cry Primal is $14, and Battlefront, the deluxe edition, is $10. I'm scared that I won't see them that cheap again, but I'm also scared that I'll see them for cheaper elsewhere.
I'd say you're really pretty safe on the $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good one, but like I really want to get Overwatch, but $35, I might find it cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah, that seems pretty consistent about everywhere right now. I mean, typically with Black Friday, you see the same thing on Monday. It's just available online instead of having to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what I'm curious with is if on Amazon, if they do a Cyber Monday sale, do I still get my 20% off on that? And if I can, I mean, I could technically come out cheaper that way.
True.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Is it, that's where you have to decide if you want something bad enough. Yeah. I picked up Recore for $20. Like, that game may be cheaper, but I wanted to have it.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't, Far Cry Primal's not high up on my list, but for the right price, I'd like to have that. Battlefront's one of those. The Metal Gear 5, the collector's edition thing that had, or not the collector's edition, but the complete saga with both of them in the game. I'd like to get that. So there's a bunch of stuff that I see that I would love to have. It just depends on whether or not I get it. This is the part about the holiday season that I hate. That pisses me off. It's the not knowing when to buy. Like, oh, you find it cheaper for $5 tomorrow.
So you just have to be good with it, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I finally got Max Payne for $15. It's like $7 on the PlayStation store right now. Like, that's okay. Like I was happy with the price I paid when I paid it, so like it doesn't piss me off.
Yeah. And part of me also doesn't want to buy all these games digital through PlayStation. So
yeah, that's me too. That's why I went to GameStop and got the Battlefront for $10 instead of getting it through the store. It would have been so much easier to download it, but I wanted the physical copy of it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and my 2 terabyte hard drive filled up real fast too.
I did pick up one of those new PS4 controllers for $40
with the light bar. With the light bar up here.
Yeah.
How's that?
The shitty part about that is that you can't tell the difference in packaging.
No, you can't.
And all of the controllers were on sale.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's no difference other than that light bar, but the people that went to go buy one on Black Friday, like, it was just a mixture.
I don't know. I think the new one feels a lot sturdier put together than...
I think that's in your head.
It might be. I don't know. If it feels like it's much more...
But when's the last time you held a brand new controller? They always feel so fucking good.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know. It just feels like it's sturdier.
Yeah. I
did the smash test on it, and it didn't give it all.
Well, that's because you haven't weakened it up yet. But so when I first got mine out, I mean, I opened it, and that's, when you click the sticks, and you're like, wow, she feels put together. But after playing with it for a few weeks now, it feels like all my other controllers. That light bar, I think, is the only difference, and you can't tell that light bar is not visible, when it's off.
Right.
Which only I talked about. Yeah, I think on a couple episodes ago. So, like, tons of people had those controllers in their carts and stuff pushing around, but there's no way to really know if it's a new one or an old one or not. I think you can only get black, red, and blue.
Yeah.
And then GameStop has gold.
Yes.
Trying to get that blue.
But
I should trade in one of these Warlocks right here.
Standards.
Get one of those. Yeah, get rid of the standards for the colors.
Mine's
the
better.
Day 1 editions.
Mm-hmm.
I got rid of my early ones, but I've got let's see, 2 of the standard black ones. I've got the Uncharted one, and then I've got the new one that came with the Pro.
When are you gonna get one of the 20th anniversary?
Can't afford it.
It's normal price, man. I got this one last year.
I can't afford it.
When they came out, because they did a price drop on them, and they were doing them for the same price as the others. Get it. Look how good that looks. I can't afford it.
Now, my next purchase is a headset. That's the next thing I'm buying.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I want like a really expensive headset.
Like some A40s?
Yeah.
Nice.
I want something really good.
Are you going to get wireless or wired?
I want wireless, but it also has to have the option for a wire because of VR.
Check, I know A50s are the wired ones. Check the A40s and see if they have the
they do
wire option.
They do. Yeah, they do have a jack there.
They're like, but what, $250?
Yeah. Well, they were $200 yesterday.
Yeah, but that's not. Who gives a shit about $50?
I mean, I do, but I don't have the other $200 to go with it.
Right.
Right.
So
it's not so much the $50 savings I was worried about. It's the $200 I didn't have to start with.
The $50's not getting me. It's the $200 that I don't have.
Right.
That's bothering me. So I finally got my TV, for the Pro, or I needed the new TV. My TV's shit. So I go to Target on Thanksgiving, after I was done with everything. I was heading home. It was about that time anyways. So Target was 15 minutes away from opening, so I go there. There's like 6,000 people in line roughly. And I'm like, there's no chance I'm going to get this TV that I want. And they give us a map, and all the TVs are basically, when you walk through the door, that whole like strip that goes straight back, all the TVs are stacked in the aisle right there is what the map shows. So I'm like, it's going to be chaos when you walk in this place. So they open, everybody walks in. There's 2,500 of the 6,000 people are right there trying to get TVs. But no one wants the one that I want. They all want the Samsungs. But the Samsungs didn't have HDR that were there, and I really wanted HDR for the Pro. So I walked in. I was trying to get an LG. I looked at the box, and this is the wrong size. Walked up like 4 stacks. There was the one I wanted. There's only 6 of them. Nobody had one yet. Picked it up, put it in the buggy, walked straight up front, paid for it, and was out the door in 5 minutes.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I went back in because I was like, I kind of want to see what else is here. But I didn't wait in line at all to pay. I pushed it straight up front, went straight in. I was like the second person to check out.
Right. Nobody was paying yet. They were still
in the whole store. And they had
the
60 cashiers, right? So I just went straight outside, put it in the car, and then went back in and probably walked around the store for about 30 minutes, and when I left, there were none of the TVs that I got left. So that's how quick they went once the other options ran out, I guess. They had like this, I think it was like a 40, 45, or 50-inch Hennessy 4K TV. That's what everybody... Yeah.
Hisense?
I don't know. I don't even know what it was.
Hisense.
I didn't even see them. All I could see is a H on the box. But they were like $200.
Yeah, Hisense is pretty good. They're Chinese manufactured.
It looked like shit.
They're Chinese manufactured Samsungs, I believe. But Hisense,
the box looked like shit, and but they were like limit one per customer, and there's people like picking up 4 of them because they had all their family. Like they skipped Thanksgiving to stand in line.
Yeah.
That's what everybody was trying to get, I think. But they only had, I think, like 10 of them or something, and those went to like the ticketed people who spent the night there.
Right.
Yeah. Hisense are you can get like a 4K HDR from them off Amazon right now for like $400 in the 55 to 60 inch range. They're pretty good TVs. They're not bad at all.
I don't want a Hennessy TV though.
Yeah. Well, it's not Hennessy. That's the problem. Is Hisense.
You said how you want. I said how I want.
I suffer from the same problem you do, though. I only buy like Samsung TVs, so.
I mean, I wanted a Samsung, but they didn't have the one I wanted on sale.
I like Samsungs and Sonys.
Samsung's got a really good 4K HDR in the 50 to 60 inch range for like $500 or $600 right now. So they're not too far off the mark.
The TV I have that I got last year on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, has actually worked out really well. It was
Is
like
that the one?
Yeah,
did you get that one after you did the backbreaker to the other one?
No. No, I got this last. It was just on sale, and her brother picked up 3 of them. He's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "Sure." Because why wouldn't I?
For free?
But,
yeah.
No, I had to pay for it. But it's a Roku brand TV TCL 2500. It's just. But I've had really good luck with it. It's not great, but it's serviceable for what I need.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. The ones the Roku brand is just a Roku built into a TV, and I think the TV is manufactured by LG or Sony on those. So, pretty good TVs.
Yeah, as far as as far as how it looks, it's not like top of the line, but it's serviceable. For Netflix, cable TV, it serves its purpose.
I've got my heart set on one of these edgeless TVs right now. The ones where the screen goes to nothing. Like the screen is everything. Have you seen these?
Yes.
I've got to have one, but they're like $9 million.
Yeah,
I don't care about the curve. I just don't want the edge.
The LG, the OLEDs they're like the best looking TV in this Best Buy here, but I didn't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah.
But that was like the only TV I wanted was that one that I saw. Because I didn't want the 60 hertz, I wanted the 120. And I couldn't find anything that was 4K HDR or 120 that was under $700.
Is it variable? Can you change it from 120 back down to 60?
Yeah, you can.
That's good.
But and then you also have to like pay attention because not everybody calls HDR HDR.
Right.
So I spent like the last month like reading to make sure, because some of them like call like ultra color mode or something like that, but it's just HDR. Just like LG calls theirs HDR Pro. That's the only option you have is the Pro. You can't get like normal HDR. They're all HDR Pro because it looks better on the box.
Right.
And on the name, on the tag at Best Buy. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It's obviously a smart TV. It's got everything built in. But if I was still going to go buy one, I probably would have bought a Samsung. But the one you're talking about, the cheaper one, like I needed I think it's the 8,000 or the 7,000 model, and they have a 6,000 and I think even a 5,000. But the other ones don't do what I need them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then TVs are shady too. Like I was talking to a guy at Best Buy. Like one of the Samsung's brand is just like it's just their bottom of the line model under a different serial number, and that's the one they put on sale all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they do it that way so that you don't realize it's the bottom of the line one.
Yeah.
And they just bring out like a different serial number every time they do a sale, but it's just the same fucking TV. But it's like their Black Friday one, or it'll be their day after Christmas one, but it's the same fucking TV.
Yeah.
They just grab a different model number for it to make it seem like it. You can't really do research on it. Because it's that wasn't a thing before then, is what they were telling me.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. But I mean, if I was just going to go buy and money was no option, I would have got the LG OLED ones.
Yeah,
because they're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
They had a 65-inch curved OLED that was.
I don't get the curve. Like, I understand the principle of it. I don't necessarily enjoy it, though.
Yeah. For me, it was just that because the way my lights are, I think it would do better for glare.
Yeah.
That was my only thinking. I don't get the it doesn't bring me in like people say. It doesn't give me the depth that people claim. But I did want it for the glare.
Yeah.
But I'm perfectly fine not having it. Like that was at the bottom of my wish list.
Right.
Yeah.
Was to have the curved. But if I had the option between curved and non-curved for the same price, I would have got curved.
This has been our Black Friday cast.
I will say, though, it's the most peaceful Black Friday that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, mine was, too.
Yeah, I haven't heard about anybody getting...
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was going to say I haven't heard about anybody getting trampled or shot or...
Oh, yeah, people got killed, but...
No, there was some, yeah.
There was a mall here that there was a gang shooting outside of it on Black Friday, but it wasn't like the patrons of the mall killing each other over...
Somebody in Jersey died, I think.
Yeah, New York City or something.
Yeah.
There was something outside of Macy's, too.
Yeah, that's the one I think I'm talking about.
Okay,
and then when I was at Target, I don't know how true this is because people are insane, but I guess Walmart had some like super cheap TVs, and a lady had, again, more than you're supposed to be able to get in her buggy, and people started pulling them out of her buggy. And she tried to like lay over them and at her buggy to keep people from stopping, and they knocked her down, apparently, and the police had to go to Walmart here and stop all that. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's what a lady at Target was saying when I was ear hustling.
Yeah.
Ear hustling.
Yeah, she wasn't saying it to me, but she was 2 spots in front of it and talking loud as fuck, which means she was saying it to me.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't do any Black Friday shopping until Friday afternoon, around 11 o'clock, and I didn't have a thing. I mean, it wasn't busy. It was just those doorbusters that brings the morons in.
Yeah, like them doorbusters, though. My TV was a doorbuster. That's the problem. You could anything that wasn't, you could just buy online, but they were doorbusters. And but I didn't have any expectations, so when I was able to get it, I was like, well, how about this? And then we went to Best Buy, and I picked up Recore, which is the only thing I wanted there, and we walked straight in line, and I probably was out of there, and we probably waited in line to pay for 10 minutes there. And then when I went to GameStop yesterday, I mean, I walked straight in and left in 5 minutes. So, like, I had a super peaceful Black Friday shopping experience. Like, if it could be like this, I feel like more people would do it. But they've almost screwed it up by opening on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I try not to participate in it because of that.
Me too, but if I get the TV I want for $300 less, sometimes you gotta make some exceptions. Also, I always go, and I usually don't buy anything. I just like to go.
Just for the spectacle?
I like to see people dragging TVs. Yeah. Just dragging TVs like there's someone that you're dragging around with their hair. Like they've got that ripped ass handle on the side and they're just pulling it like sideways across the store because no one will help them because everyone's trying to get their shit. I like to see that, and I don't help them either. I just like to see it. I just like to see. I thought about becoming a criminal because when I went, like at Best Buy, I put stuff in the car before I went to the mall, and when I went out there, every car had a TV in the back, and boxes and bags, and I'm like, man, if I was going to be a career criminal,
today's the day.
Black Friday seems like the day that you want to do that. Just a quick smash and grab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fuck all the picking locks and alarms. Just smash the back window out, take it, and go.
Yeah. And there's no cameras out there. G-Square Mall.
It's dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
They can't see your face.
And there's, for as many cars as are in the parking lot, no one is outside.
Right.
Everyone is in the store because they like run into the store. Like they make themselves, make sure they're scarce outside. So you could easily do it.
Yeah.
But I don't need that many TVs. Also, I don't like jail.
They always tell you on shopping days like that, don't go put stuff in your car and then go back inside.
Right.
Because there's always somebody watching you.
But I didn't want to wait in line. But what I did do, because I don't trust people, when I put my TV in the car, I took a picture of the serial number.
Yeah, good idea.
Before I went back inside. I mean, it wouldn't keep them from stealing it, but at least I could prove that it was mine.
You could file a police report at that point.
Yeah, right. I could. Right. So yeah. I took a picture. I look like a fucking wacko out there doing it, probably. But I'm like, I don't trust people.
No one was out there to see you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, what if someone steals this fucking TV? But when I pushed out in the parking lot, there was seriously not a soul there. 6,700 cars and no people outside because everybody was in there pushing people down to get FIFA. Because it was $27 and you like that soccer.
Football, I think you mean.
No, I mean soccer.
I mean soccer too.
Still under the red, white, and blue. Yeah, I mean soccer. So it was a really positive experience. I hope that people that listen and some of our community didn't like mow anybody down or get pushed down or anything. But from what I saw, it was very peaceful. And so when I walked back in from putting the TV in the car, I had the buggy still. And there was a lady up front who had a TV, and she asked the manager for a buggy, and he said there are no more left. And she said, "Well, I can't carry this by myself."
Give her the buggy.
And so I gave her my buggy, and you would think that I was sent from the heavens when I did that. Like everybody, like all the staff, like that guy, the lady, like everybody was like all over my junk.
Yeah.
And they're like, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, I didn't need the fucking buggy anymore. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I was finished with it. Because if I'm carrying it or she's carrying it, she's carrying it. Like, I just didn't need it anymore.
It wasn't quite the sacrifice you think it was.
Right. Right. I brought this back in because
you were done with it.
Because I was finished with it, right? And I was coming back in. But, yeah, I seriously thought for 1 second there was going to be a gift card involved. Because if I was a manager of a big box store like that, I would have a pocket full of gift cards and I would just give them out for random acts of kindness that I saw.
Maybe you should have held out for the gift card.
Yeah, well, I didn't hold out for anything. I just was like, because see, I pushed by her, but I heard the conversation, because I had the ears on, and so I turned around and I was like, "Ma'am, you can have my buggy," and like everybody just like lit up, and I thought for a second, he was gonna
just taking your pants down with that comment.
Yeah, he was like he wasn't a manager. He was like a DM because he was dressed. He was Sunday's best.
Gotcha.
And he was standing at the door the whole time, but he had like a Target like a fucking sweater vest on, and I know they don't hand those out at the kind of level I would work at.
Right.
So yeah, he was somebody that mattered, but yeah, they're like, you didn't have to do that. And I'm like, no problem. But in my head, I was looking for somewhere to take that back to.
Right.
Like, you just made this easier for me.
You don't understand how awesome this worked out for everybody involved.
I thought I was going to have to dump this somewhere. But luckily, you guys were waiting for one, and now I'm a good Samaritan. Yeah, so it was Black Friday. It happened.
It did. I was there for some of it. But were you?
Yeah. Matt skipped it.
Matt missed it.
Nope.
Waiting for next year.
I went to work that day. I went to a job.
That was my first day back to work. Actually, I had 200 plus emails, and they were a mixture of things that didn't have anything to do with me and things I should have done a week ago.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they were really good. It was nice. But I busted my ass Friday and got pretty much caught up from a week of being out. So I'm not doing shit on Monday. Is basically what I'm telling you.
Awesome.
Back to it.
Good
Back
to know.
to it. Yeah, it's Cyber Monday.
Back to BAU.
I gotta be alert for those lightning deals.
Ain't that the
They're
truth?
not gonna order themselves before they hit 100%. So I gotta be waiting.
That's true.
You good? What was that?
Yeah,
I looked down for 2 seconds. Sounded like you were drinking some 10W30.
I was. Good stuff.
I could hear it just going down your gobbler.
Yeah, it was pretty
good.
close.
It was good.
It was. It reminds me that we launched a Patreon about 3 weeks ago now. We got some support on there. We're a few dollars away from our first goal, which will have us play our back catalog. I'm trying to leave some of these games I just picked up wrapped so that maybe those can get picked instead of something that I don't care to play. So it's all part of my strategy.
We're very close to that. We just need
$4.
Yeah,
$4.
maybe one or two more people to.
Yeah, we're $4 away. You can give as little as $1, as much as your entire paycheck. But we're $4 away, and you can support us on there. Patreon.com/Gamestitch.
I just want to say, as much as I'm all for it, I know I called you bitches earlier. I'm recommending you do not give us your whole paycheck. I would keep some.
If you got it
keep
to
some
give,
for yourselves
come on with
to take care of
Speak for
business
yourself,
with.
man.
Yeah. Dan does
Speak
not
for
speak for the
yourself.
rest of
I'm
us.
trying to look out for the listeners. See who's got your
The
back,
views-
guys. Me.
If you got a
The views
spare paycheck that you're gonna
Yeah.
gamble away or
Me.
give to us, go on and give it to us.
The views expressed by Dan are not those of Gamestitch.
Right. Also, I'm very excited at the prospect of live streaming and recording gameplay for you guys of games that I never intended to play. So
I can tell Dan wants to be a piece of shit about this, but I'm going to pick something I think you guys want to play and just never played that you have.
yeah.
So mine won't be painful. It's something I want to see you play. I
I mean,
think.
you can tell I want to be a piece of shit about it. What does
Well, because
that
when
mean?
we're discussing potential ideas, you're like, "I got one for you." Ha 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 ha. I'm like, "Well, Jesus Christ!" Like,
Okay, it's fair. I did
Yeah, I
say
mean-
that.
yeah,
Plus, I think more content for everybody who's part of the community. That something for them to watch.
and yeah, so, and I think we'll have to work on like what our back catalog actually is. But
Yeah,
for me,
there'll be-
it's easy enough.
There'll be some
It's
figures
easy
Sounds like a
enough
whole
for-
podcast for you.
Well, no, I mean it's easy enough for me just to pick the games that are sealed. I won't worry about all the stuff I have digital.
Gotcha.
Because I've probably got 10, 11 games that I haven't cracked the wrapper on. So we could just pick from that list of things. Maybe I'll lose one or two of those before I make the list. Because there's a couple I just really don't want to fucking play. And then I've dodged some bullets by putting something in and trying it and being like, nope. So those don't count, I feel like.
No, that's back catalog. If you've played it for less
put it
than
in.
like 4
As long as I
hours,
put
it's
it
back
in.
catalog. Nah.
That would be almost everything I own.
Well, there you
That
go.
would be almost all of them.
Anything that you've played for less than an hour counts.
I don't know. I don't keep a timer like that.
I mean,
It would be a lot. It would be
PS4 does,
almost everything that's been on PlayStation Plus.
Right.
right.
There's a lot of silence on this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting back to it after a week off.
I feel like y'all are everybody's waiting for somebody else to say something.
We're waiting for Ryan to take the lead.
It's kind.
Yeah, man.
It's very kind. This is a very Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
Not much talking over each other. A lot of pauses.
Yeah.
A lot of hesits. A lot of you go. No, you go. No, go ahead.
Please.
No.
Please. You go.
I did have this moment. This is my last Black Friday.
Oh,
story.
my God. Another one?
Jesus
Well,
Christ. This is getting like The Division with Dan.
This is good though,
Hey, fuck
because it
you,
doesn't
Matt.
have anything to do with Black Friday.
Fuck you, Matt.
you know how when you're walking and you're about to bump into somebody, and then you both step to the left.
Yep. You do the
and
dance.
you both step to the right, and they're like, you go ahead, and then they say it right when you say it. I had one of those instances happen at Best Buy.
Nice.
Was it weird?
I just hate when that happens.
It's awkward.
We're both so fucking polite that we can't even get around each other.
It's super awkward.
Yeah.
You're like, no, no.
And then when leaving, this is just a PSA. If someone holds the door for you, you need to say thank you.
Yeah, you do.
So I was leaving the mall, and it was a double door situation. There's a foyer, if you will.
Foyer.
Entryway, yeah. So I go through the first of the door, and I hold the door for this lady and her boyfriend/husband to come through. And when she gets to the door, you know, like, I'm not holding it as if, like, come on through. I held it like, when you get up here, it's your fucking responsibility.
Right.
Like one of those moves. So I held it just till they got there. But when she put her hand on it, she didn't say a fucking word to me. She locked eyes with me and then kept going. So when I go through the next set of doors, I fucking give that thing a little pushback. like I want it to shut. And she like slides her fat ass out of it, but it hits her boyfriend, and he was like, motherfucker. But I'm thinking, if you two hadn't been so rude, this whole thing could have been avoided.
Right.
Because I didn't want to have to shut the door on them. I needed to. Because they need to understand that's not how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's lesson learned. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, tip of the hat's all I needed. They didn't even have to say anything. If they would have just nodded and acknowledged the fact that I took time out of my busy ass afternoon to hold the door for them, that would have been enough. I mean, I know it's not why you do it, but it's kind of why you do it. It's because you want
you
want
want a
people
little
to
bit of
acknowledge.
acknowledgement. See, I could be a decent person.
Yeah, there's still good people out here, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously,
instead,
you're not. Now I'm going to slam the fucking door in your face.
Yeah, you just expect me to hold it because that's what people do, and that's not okay. Don't ever expect me to do something.
No.
It's the quickest way to get me to shut the door on your boyfriend. That's the quickest way I know. Right. I'm being just rude as hell.
Oh.
Let's talk about some Nintendo NX Switch.
Okay.
The new Nintendo NX Switch news.
Is that what they call it?
There's no telling. I hope the packaging is good. The PS4 Pro let me down. We talked about it before. It should have been like a black box. It just said PlayStation Pro. It should look expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a fucking PlayStation box.
Well, it's just a PlayStation, so there's that.
Yeah. Hopefully the Switch just has that weird fucking Switch logo and just that's it. Nothing else. Mm-hmm. And it's not white. I'm over the white boxes. Like I don't want it to look like the Wii. But so Todd Howard, he's the executive producer at Bethesda, the director and executive producer. He's Mr. Fallout 4, if you will.
Yeah. We know him by just Todd.
Yeah, balls deep in Fallout. He apparently really, really, really likes the Switch.
Yeah.
He actually said, I love it. I got to play it. I will tell you. Then he pauses to let everybody know that he probably has an NDA that he can't talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But then goes on to say that it was one of the best demos I've ever played. Probably the best demo I've ever seen at E3. He doesn't strike me as someone who needs to sing the praises of Nintendo if they're not actually excited about it.
Right.
So it seems kind of promising. So the weird thing is Bethesda has declined to confirm any games for the Switch. Even though the official trailer has Skyrim running on it, they still won't say that it's coming out.
Right.
So that's odd. He did say though later on in the interview that the game you see running on the TV is the same game that will run on the second screen. So I don't know if that means that there's no frame rate issues, there's no changing of the graphics, but he said that the game running on the TV is the same game you would play on the other screen when referring to Skyrim, even though it's not confirmed for that console.
That'll be very cool if it's like that.
If it works as seamless as they made it seem like, it'll be fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, without a doubt.
That you can be playing, you're like, oop, gotta poop, and you just stand up, grab that thing, and go.
Yep.
But wasn't that always that was always what was promised with the Wii U? That was the idea, right? Like, oh, I gotta poop. Let me go ahead and go in there and.
Yeah. So I think that was the thought. I don't think it was ever promised, but I think that was the thought.
Yeah, and I don't think it was ever executed either.
Well, yeah, I thought that too, but then when you would grab it and go poop, it's like, oh, I'm out of range.
Right.
Right.
I can't work from right here. And I was like, damn it.
By the way, I just want to point out that I never say, oop, I gotta poop.
Well, that's you.
I just shout it out. Gotta go poop.
So then you're in there pooping with a gamepad that's not even working, and that's more weird than being in there with one that does work.
Because plus you didn't bring your phone because you thought you were going to be gaming. Now it doesn't work, so now you got nothing to read but the back of the shampoo bottle.
Right, now you just gotta... I don't know that I could reach the shampoo bottle from where I poop at.
You're like, what's in shampoo?
If I had to, I could. It depends.
You just sit there and think about how gross it is what you're doing right now.
Right, it's a pinch, grab, release.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means you finish.
It means you pinch it off, grab it, grab the bottle, sit back on the toilet, and release.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the poop itself. You were pinching, grab it, and releasing it.
No.
I skipped the grab step.
Yeah,
you sure
I don't
did.
like what you're telling me.
But yeah,
I'm looking into.
You can grab your poop if you want to. I don't see the sense in that, but if it works for you, if it's a thing, then go for it.
I just want to finish up this just so that you know that Bethesda's and they got Nintendo's back. He went on to say, I think it's really smart what they are doing. We're definitely going to support it. It's the first time we've done something on Nintendo, if you don't count the old NES stuff. Home Alone and Where's Waldo. Mm-hmm. Two classics.
Well, right, we don't count
Two
those.
Classic Bethesda properties on the NES.
Home Alone was really good.
Where's Waldo? It's hard to fuck up. You just hide him.
As long as you can't find him, you're doing things right.
Right. As long as he's tough to discover, you pretty much nailed it.
But it was a big week this week for the Nintendo Switch. Because in the UK, they actually got a pre-order price guarantee.
Sorta.
Kinda. Yeah. This is kind of a little fishy, but...
This is akin to what happened with Amazon with the Wii U.
It's sort of shady. So this price has been floating around everywhere. UK retailer GameSeek is saying that it's going to be $246.79 US. And they're so confident that they are guaranteeing this price, meaning if it goes up or down, they're still going to honor it.
Yeah.
Which makes it not confirmed, but they are confirming that price.
Yeah.
But I mean, this has been floating around everywhere that this is going to be the price. There's going to be a $250 model, and there's apparently going to be a better $300 model. So the reason I put this story on there is knowing that Todd, your boy Todd, Big T,
that's what I call him,
is totally in love with it, and that the price is where we said it needed to be. Where are your thoughts? Right, where are you at right now?
Yeah, if it for $250, I'll pick it up.
And
knowing that it's got knowing that it's got a big pat on the back from T-Dog, as I call him. That's what he calls me M-Dog. I call him T-Dog.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
That's I'm gonna have to. Like,
you guys are eating chili cheese fries out at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the price is right.
No problem,
that.
T-Dog. Yeah, the price is right. It sounds like it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it definitely is.
Like, even if it comes out and it's just another Wii U, like, the price is right on that. Like, for what the console is supposed to do, like, even if it comes out and it graphically nothing's changed, gameplay-wise nothing's changed, and just the gimmick peripheral works, like, that's all it has to do for $250.
Yep, that's worth it.
All it has to do is do what it's showing for $250. If it comes out and you have to have it like in the box and the controllers don't do shit and none of it works, then for $250 it's a fucking rip. But if everything works the way they show that it's working, even if the games don't look good, it's worth $250.
So are you pre-order it like it that much, or are you just gonna wait and get it around launch?
Well, knowing Nintendo, there will be no way to get it at launch, so I'll probably have to pre-order it.
Because what I'm saying is, with pre-order, you're gonna have to commit before you know if it's shit.
You don't have to, though. You can, because you can put all your money. You can use it like a layaway program. Pay for it. Finally, it's paid off. If it comes out and reviews like shit, you get your money back.
Oh yeah, if you can wait. But if I've got it paid off and it's sitting at the store, fuck you.
Well, you also know it with Nintendo, the way they short stock everything. You're not going to be able to pay it off and let it sit because they'll sell it right after
48 hours.
And say, we should have came in and got
48 hours. But you should have an idea by then.
I mean, hopefully there's a console review out 48 hours.
You can just ask me because I'm going to be in line the day of.
We'll just ask Ryan because he'll be. Yeah.
The hell with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you it's fantastic, too, just so you know.
And I'm going to pre-order it at GameStop so that I know they'll sell mine within 48 hours, and I can go in there and throw a fit and get a free one.
48 hours in any new consoles launch, I'm still all over it.
Yeah.
Like that's not enough time for me to hate it yet.
The game... So Nintendo's not over-promising with this one in a way that I feel like they have in the past. I don't feel like they're telling us that there's more to it than there is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's because they're not telling us much.
But I feel like what they're delivering is what people expected out of the Wii U. Like they should have not made the Wii U. I wonder if this is what Nintendo
expected out of the Wii U.
Right.
Just, the technology wasn't there because this seems like a very thought-out idea.
Right, and the Wii U was very exciting when the concept of it was, well, you get this little, when everybody was speculating, well, the tablet that's the gaming console, and you can plug it up to your TV or take it as a handheld. Now
but it was a Fisher-Price tablet that didn't work more than 15 feet away.
Right, but now if the Switch is going to actually perform what the Wii U was speculated to be, to me, that's worth buying. To me, that is something new for gaming that not necessarily hasn't been done, but something that gaming needs. One console to do it all.
One console to rule them all. I think that was Xbox's thing.
Right.
Sure.
So not. This is, I guess, the added feature. It also seems like on an earnings call that GameStop confirmed that the NX will also have the Switch will also have motion controls.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's been confirmed. It's been spoken of, though.
Right. On their call they confirmed it.
Right. Well,
now, does that mean that it has it? No. I'm not sure how much someone in that position knows. Someone, on those earning calls, I'm not sure how much they know. My guess is they've had hands-on with it. And there's been a lot of speculation that those Joy-Con controllers, you are able to point those at the screen. So I don't know why Nintendo won't let that go, but the idea that it's just built in and it's not necessary, I'm okay with it.
Right.
It could be a very low-tech way to eventually incorporate VR without having to add a peripheral. If those controllers are RF motion, all you need is a headset at that point. And,
right. And Nintendo, I think we covered it on here. They said that they are thinking about VR. They're looking into the technology. So it could be down the road thing. It's going to have Amiibo support, no doubt. I don't think they've confirmed that yet, but it will. So I don't know. It looks exciting to me, and I think the price point. I think they're nailing it with the price point.
Yeah.
$250 is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, $250 you can't pass it up.
No, it's perfect.
No matter what, you really can't pass it up.
I'm going to get the $300 model if that's a thing. Just because I think it comes with it'll have a bigger hard drive. That's obviously an issue for me on everything. So
we know you like it bigger.
I mean, who doesn't? You can always go up, but you can't go back down. Once you've experienced
all that size,
a full size hard drive, it's hard to jump back down. So it'll be I think it's going to build some real excitement as we get closer to March. Like I think when we tick over into January and they start really releasing details, I think this thing is going to pick up some steam. And I think they got all their battery life is the only bad thing that they have to get out now.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's got to be at least 4 hours.
No doubt.
It has to. If that thing lasts like an hour and a half, they're just super fucked.
That or it's got to be able to charge off a cell phone charger.
So I do think it'll have a charger that's not the dock that you can charge it on.
But it needs the universal mini USB that everything else needs that you can just plug it into whatever you can.
Some proprietary new hookup that Nintendo came up with. It's the same thing that the Wii U controllers hook up to, but now it goes to power.
But the NES Classic uses the cell phone charger, like the standard Android cell phone charger.
I wouldn't know. You can't get one anywhere.
You can power that thing off of a TV. If you just plug the cell phone charger USB port into the TV and then into the back of the NES Classic, it'll power that console. So if they're willing to adopt that as power for the tablet, then that opens up a lot of doors because you can use battery packs that you might already carry with you, or you can use your cell phone charger when you get somewhere to charge it. That, to me, the battery is irrelevant if you can get 2 hours off the battery and then a charge.
It's still got to be more than 2. It's got to be 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 is the right number. Anything, 6 would be ideal, but I think 4 is the right number.
4 is probably the minimum for me anyway, and for I think most people.
It's not gonna. I mean, I'm gonna buy it. If they told me it got 15 minutes off the charger, I'd still buy it.
But buying a $100 24,000 milliamp hour battery pack, if it's 4 hours, to be able to extend it to a full day out, like
but now
you
you've
could take
changed
it
the
on
price.
an overnight trip.
Yeah,
but now you've changed the price
point.
Yeah, but when you buy those battery packs, they work for your phone if they're going to work for the Switch tablet, if they can get that USB, if they'll work for your laptop at that point. Like, if you can buy that one thing for $100 that powers all of your devices, and Nintendo is going to try to market the Switch tablet as one of your devices, then they're spot on with that, because 4 hours is great, and then a battery pack that you might already have or that you could buy for $100 or less then extends it even further. Now you're talking about being able to just take the tablet and game for days. You could take a weekend trip as long as you got your battery pack, or you can power it off of a phone charger, a USB phone charger. Now you're talking about a mobile console also. It's not just a home console that you can take out for the evening. Like, it's a full mobile console at the same time. And I'm also interested, if the tablet looks like it could be pretty substantial, I'm sure it'll be proprietary Nintendo shit, but is there a way to, like, access the internet, use Twitch, use Twitter, what all can you do with that tablet besides game? Because if they can replace your tablet with the Switch, and that can be your gaming and your tablet device, now for $250, it's an impossible deal. Like, you can't pass it up at that point.
See, so there's, what I wonder is with the Run Mario Run, whatever that's called, and the Animal Crossing, the Fire Emblem, can I download those straight to
Miitomo,
my Switch tablet as if it was a normal tablet, and only the Nintendo stuff shows up? That's fine. And then I can use it to browse the internet the way that I do on my iPad. Like, they fucking have something, they're onto something if they can make it work right.
Right, but it doesn't have to be much, but it has to be
able, some bullshit browser that's not compatible. Like,
but if they can just do apps like YouTube, internet browser, just simple apps, they've got it.
I think they can.
Think like a Vita. Think like what a Vita is. That is then.
But so they have those things though. Like on the 3DS has the YouTube, and they have the browser. So they have to make it better.
Yeah, but if they have a more powerful console that can go, they can make it better. And so now you're talking about something that, like, puts Nintendo back in the fucking game, because they're not trying to compete with what PlayStation and Xbox are competing with PC. Let's be very clear about that. They are the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Scorpio, the idea of, like, upgrading the graphics cards, in a new console halfway through the cycle. They are competing with PC. Nintendo, I don't think is. I think Nintendo is going to attack being your all-in-one handheld device. Like, you don't need a tablet. You don't need a laptop. You don't need to rely so heavily on your cell phone. You can take a Nintendo thing with you that does all of that also. And I think if Nintendo attacks gaming from that angle, like, it's still a substantial console, but it's just not that dick measuring contest of PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Nintendo's got a market that's untapped, relatively speaking untapped, that they can coexist with whoever comes out on top every year between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And there's no competition for them over there, and that's a good spot for them to be in.
I think this is a fair compromise to what we've talked about before with them just going all in as a publisher. Like, I think this is a good compromise to be your second system. But I also felt that way about the Wii U. Like, the Wii U never felt like this is your primary console. Or if it was, like, that's unfortunate for you. But it had games that you should absolutely play. So,
but plugging it up at home, now it is, because it has to be attached to the television system, it's in direct competition with the other two. If this thing can go mobile like a tablet and then attach it at home if you want to.
Like, I see myself playing this more in bed. When I'm pooping,
taking it to work.
Yeah, I see this thing not being used at home nearly as much as it's used away, and a lot of that's going to depend on how it runs when I'm away and how if it looks different and things like that. But, like, I see this as something that I do use in those times where I can't be in front of my PS4 or in front of my Xbox One.
I see this replacing the Vita in your everyday carry, it replaces your tablet, it replaces your laptop potentially, depending on what all you can do on it. Like, I see this replacing all of your other handheld devices and becoming your, like, I don't need to pack my PlayStation 4 up for the weekend. I can take my Switch and still play Skyrim, or I can still play Overwatch or whatever they're going to have on it. Like, I see this becoming the new, like, the quote-unquote new way to game on the go.
Right.
Get away from the handheld.
I'm interested to see how Nintendo
system.
positions it, though. Do they position it as that go anywhere, or do they position it as a home console? Because I think the stance that stubborn old Nintendo is going to take is that this is your home console that you can also take on the go.
I think if they reverse the order, this is your on-the-go console that you can use at home on your big nice TV. I think is the way to go. But I think you're right. I think Nintendo's going to go the other way.
So, and I've talked about it at length before. Like, Nintendo just has the ability to figure it out. Like, they make terrible mistakes, and then somehow they figure it out. They get back on track, and then they make a terrible mistake again. This NES Classic is fucking massive for them. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to do Generation 2 and 3 and Super Nintendos, and they'll keep these rolling out because they've got that fresh injection of money. The Switch is setting itself up to be huge. And be, I think, a hit, you know, at least in the beginning, you know, as long as it's good and holds up, it'll continue to be, but at least in the beginning, it's going to get a big pop. I think they're going to be back on track. But, you know, people are going to get tired of every other generation not working. Right. Or maybe not working, but just not being what they wanted it to. You know, the Wii wasn't great, but what the Wii did was insane. It got people who didn't play games to play games.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really tough to do. You know, watching your grandmother bowl on your Wii was fun. You know, it brought people together in a way that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 never could have done.
Yeah.
But, you know, the GameCube was a fantastic system that more or less failed commercially.
Yeah. As long as they understand that they need to not market to the... as long as they understand who they're marketing to again, right? Which I think they might have lost sight of with the Wii U. Right.
Well, it's all millennials in the ad, which is promising because it wasn't kids. You know, that's the most important part. Is it wasn't kids like, Dad, can I play that Mario game again? Like, that's what I don't want to see.
Right.
You know, I also don't want to go to a rooftop party and bring my Switch, but you know, it's closer to what I want to do than a kid.
If I have to go on a weekend business trip. You bet that thing's going in my backpack. It's going in my carry-on, and if I can charge it on the go, I will game all weekend when I'm not on business. 100%.
I think that they're gonna. This is totally. There's nothing to confirm this. I think they're gonna ship with that Mario game, just like they did with Mario 64. That game that they show there, I think they're gonna ship with that, which will be massive.
Yeah.
If they can ship with in a long time.
If they can ship with a Mario game at that price point on a system that people are excited about.
Right.
Like, the sky's the limit for the Switch, so I just hope it doesn't suck.
Take it back to that standard Nintendo 2 controllers in a game with the console when you buy it.
Well, you're getting two Joy-Cons.
That counts as 2 controllers for some games, though. You know,
I'm just going to break everybody's mind. I'm going to unhook mine and just play with them separated. I'm not going to slide them in
like
the thing.
This all the time.
Yeah. Put them behind my back, over my head, maybe one under my leg because I can.
You do tricks with it?
Yeah. Yeah, just because I can. Let's move on to some news that I know everybody on here has been waiting for.
Oh man, this is big.
Holding their breath for months over this next one.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky developer finally responds. Hello Games finally has something to say. They've been radio silent for pretty much the entire time since the launch of the game. And it would appear it's because they are very busy. They've been working on what they're calling the Foundation Update. Which does add the previously discussed base building feature. It's slated to come out this week. This week you're listening to this podcast if you're listening to the week that it came out. It's slated to release sometimes here. They said it will not be the biggest update to hit No Man's Sky, but it will obviously be the foundation, which is why it's called that.
Clever.
But, you know...
I see what they did there.
Yeah, but just to read into that means they're still going to support this thing even past this first one.
Right. There's going to be more.
Yeah,
we always kind of knew that, though.
Yeah, but is there...
Is it too little, too late?
Right. So, he says that they've been hard at work. That's all whatever. That's standard stuff. But he does also address the controversy, or they do, address the controversy a little bit. And it says, the discussion around No Man's Sky since the release has been intense and dramatic. We have been quiet, but we are listening and focusing on improving the game that our team loves and feels passionately about. Positive or negative feedback, you have been heard, and that will truly help us make this a better game for everyone. Which is probably tough to say because people aren't just positive and negative. People are just straight up hateful and rude.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he found positive comments. I'm glad he did. But I haven't seen.
Maybe that's why it took him almost 6 months to come up with a statement.
We've been fairly positive on this podcast, but it's tough to find a podcast that is positive.
Right.
There are a lot of people praising them for taking a chance, which is, it is a big deal because you can always be safe. There's a million safe games on the PlayStation Network right now, and 95% of them suck.
Yeah.
So, there is something to be said for taking a chance. And I think they fell short of people's expectations. I don't think they fell short on delivering a good game, though.
Me either.
Me and Dan, I don't know how much you played, Matt, because you weren't on when I was on, but me and Dan fucking played the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first...
And I plan on playing it more.
Yeah.
The first month that it was out, it was the only thing I had in the system for a long time.
Yeah, and our friend Gerald, he played the shit out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to the point of stopping because I was...
but he played it.
Yeah, the only reason I ever stopped playing was to wait for this update because I didn't want the game to become old and tired before I got the chance to do everything they intended for me to do, which we talked about quite a bit on the show. So this is exciting because I loved that game. I think No Man's Sky is potentially one of the best games to ever come out if they continue to move forward with it and not let it sit and stagnate. I think what they had is very special, and we talked about this at length when it came out, but I think that what they did with the game is very special, and I think that people who want to badmouth it be damned if they're going to continue to update it and do something continue to make it this special thing, then I'm all for it. I'm very excited about that.
Right. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. They did close it out, the post, by saying the foundation update will be the first small step in a long journey. So like I said, it does seem that they're going to continue to support it. I hope that anything they had planned will now become free. So if they were going to do paid ships and things like that, I hope it's all free now. They fucked up a little bit. They did. Like they do have to own some of this. Like they did make some mistakes in their ambition and in their promise to people.
Not so much their ambition as the promises of their ambition. The promise,
right. Like if they would have said nothing, but I get it. They needed the money. They took it from Sony, and Sony put them on stage. And Sony sent them here, and Sony sent them there. They wanted to go here. They wanted to go there. And if you talk about something for 5 years, you can go back and listen to this podcast. There's been a lot of promises that we never fulfilled. And that sucks. The only difference is we don't sell this podcast for $60 a pop.
Right.
But just in that time frame, working hard and thinking you can do something you can, or things changing, or switching jobs, or there are all kinds of things change. The limitations of the system and the limitations of the people working on it, and I'm sure when he said those things, or when those things were posted, they totally meant for it to happen.
Yeah, I don't think at any point they straight out lied about what they wanted out of the game. I think maybe they had their mouths ran faster than their minds.
Right. The base building, it doesn't do anything for me. Because I think you'll just be able to pop out one of the little pods that are there already. And you can probably just go in it. Like, I don't know that does anything for me. But the idea that this is part of a bigger picture, that does excite me.
Right.
It's a game I want to play. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about No Man's Sky. Like, I want to play it.
But if this is the first step towards being able to have perpetual online communities on a planet, being able, like, the three of us can inhabit the same planet because multiplayer is on the way, and we can build Minecraft style, on a planet where people could potentially come discover it, that's kind of that's cool. Like, what could come of this is cool.
So if you can see the bases the other people build, that does add something to it. But the bases have to look different than the 15 things that they have as part of the algorithm now. You have to be able to tell that it's something that I built, other than a plaque or something that when you click on it says I built it. Like, you need to be able to tell.
There also needs to be a reason to stay on the planets to build a base. Like, you have to be able to get back to that planet, number one, back to that solar system, if that's going to be home base. But there also needs to be a reason to be there, you know? So they're going to have to adjust the algorithm for planets to make them a little bit more lush and full. Like, there's a lot on some of these planets, but they're going to have to increase the frequency of how often you find a planet that you would actually want to inhabit and build a base on. Right. Or there's no point to build a base and then just abandon it.
It's true. In September, the UK Advertising Standards Authorities did launch an investigation into No Man's Sky after it had received several complaints about the game's potentially misleading advertisement. After that, No Man's Sky subreddit was temporarily closed after being described by its moderator as a hate-filled waste hole. That tells you something about the community. So for him to say the positive is definitely PR speak for shut the fuck up, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it what you thought it was going to be, or what we said it was going to be. So, I don't know. We talked about it. Sean Layden said that he thinks No Man's Sky will eventually be what Hello Games envisioned. But
I hope so.
I don't think anyone says that it's 100% what they promised. I think everyone knows it's not what they promised, including them. But I think that if you can get past being part of the hate just to be part of it, that there's a good game there.
Yeah.
I think it's fun for people to be nasty online because they can be anonymous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see it in everything.
Because there's no repercussions to the things they say. But these people worked hard for 5 years on something that they truly believed in. It's not the first game that came out that you didn't like or wasn't what it was supposed to be.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Watch Dogs is... Yeah, the first Watch Dogs is a piece of shit.
I played it all the way through. It wasn't a piece of shit. It wasn't what it was.
It was a piece of shit.
It wasn't what was...
And I did not say one negative thing to anybody at Ubisoft, to anybody who worked on that game for 4 to 5 years.
I liked Watch Dogs. It wasn't what they said it was going to be, but I liked it.
They're not going to give you a free copy, Dan.
Right. You like the Division too, so you do what you want. You're on Ubisoft's CAC real hard.
Yeah. You're on their payroll too, it sounds like.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 apparently is great.
That's what I've heard.
But, my thing is, I bought Watch Dogs and I don't regret buying it. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't even what I thought it was going to be based off the first trailer that I watched and fell in love with. But, I wasn't mad at anybody. That was my choice to buy it. I didn't have to go buy it.
Right.
I did my homework. What they showed me was not necessarily what I thought I got, but it was okay. It was fine. That was my choice. Not the last bad game I bought, not the first bad game I bought. This is not new. How many bad games did you buy on the NES because you had no fucking clue what it was? And
that was
cover
just
art
about
looked
all
fucking
of them.
badass.
NES was really bad. Yeah, it was
Almost
really
all
bad
of
on the NES.
Yeah, I mean, you buy a cart that's got somebody somebody fighting a bear with a sword on the front. And you get home and it's you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
like that's all the cover art for the NES was badass. And it didn't match. Mega Man's a great game, but if you look at the cover art for Mega Man, then you go home,
it's different.
It's not the same thing for sure.
Bomberman, very guilty of the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand what people hope to accomplish by making people feel bad who tried something different. You want that stagnant pool of the same bullshit? Because the PSN and the Xbox Live right now, they're suffering from just a pool of bad games online. The stores.
Part of that is due to a glut of conformity. All the games are similar.
Yeah, well, there's also no curation. They just fucking toss it up. I have to sort through, 75 new costumes for a game I've never fucking heard of to find a new game.
Yeah.
The stores on both sides aren't set up well enough for someone to show me what the good stuff is. And I think Sony should do a better job, and Microsoft too, sorting through the bullshit for me.
I don't
like. Show me what the good ones are. You know what the good ones are. Show me.
I mean, like they do it on Android and on Apple
iOS. Yeah.
Yeah, they all do like the editor's choice.
Yeah.
Why not do that for indies?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that. Like, show me what the good games are. I know that you want people to develop for your platform, but you don't want people to make shitty games to develop for your platform.
Right.
10 great games are better than 100 shitty games any day of the week. So I have no problem with them focusing and saying, hey, here are the good ones. You can still sort through and find the shit if you want it, but here are the ones that we liked.
Right.
And here's, maybe all the ones they pick have demos and you can try them, whatever it is. But, like, there should be some system for finding games that don't suck. Like the I Am Mayonnaise, I think it is, or I Am Mayo that came out.
Yeah.
It is a you just tap.
Uh-huh.
So when you start the game up, there's a mayonnaise jar, and all you do is tap on it. That's it. It's a cross-buy game. It takes about 20 minutes to get a platinum on. It has a platinum. And all you do is tap the jar. It's 99 cents. You tap the fucking jar. I Am Mayo. You tap the fucking jar on the Vita, or you click the jar on the PS4. You can get 2 platinums out of the game. It may even be $1.99. I don't know. It's really cheap. But the thing is, you're buying a platinum here is what you're doing. There's no game.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like stuff like that's unfortunate. Like that shouldn't have come out. That shouldn't have a platinum when games like Song of the Deep doesn't have a platinum. That shouldn't happen. There should be somebody at Sony keeping shit like this from landing on there, or let it come out. But this doesn't deserve a spot on the front page next to something else. Because the way the PlayStation Store works, it says, "Hey, here's everything that's new." Yeah. And that's not how it should be displayed. Here are the things that are good that are new.
And everything is new is also 47 million fucking costumes for Dead or Alive, or
oh my gosh,
all these weapon packs for Primal or whatever the fuck that game is with the dinosaurs.
There's some game, it may be Dead or Alive, but it's one of those JRPGs. It has about 7,500 costumes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they come out every fucking week.
Yep.
And they flood the front of my store.
They sure do. Yep.
So,
are you trying to tell me that you're not into that?
No. And I'm not even against the I Am Mayo as much as I sounded like. It can exist. That's fine. It shouldn't exist on the front page next to a game that somebody spent 3 years handcrafting. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I don't mind that it's there. It should be there for the people who want that, who want an easy platinum or who think it's funny or whatever. It should be there. But it shouldn't exist beside something like Minecraft when I'm looking through, the stuff.
Right.
That's what my problem is. This next story is on here for Dan.
Of course it is.
Great.
It would appear that Mass Effect Andromeda will not include all of the original trilogy's species.
That's correct.
It's probably not a shock to you.
No. From what I know about the game, no.
Right. But it does appear that they have plans to introduce them in what they hope are the sequels to Andromeda.
Yeah, sequels or possibly even DLC.
Yeah.
I think what you're missing out of this though is that I think there will be you're going to be in a new galaxy.
So
completely different
races.
from the exactly. I think you are going to see some new races. It's already been confirmed that the new main enemy is a race that we haven't seen before. So I think you're going to see a combination of both. Obviously, there are some favorites that are going to be in there. You're going to have the Asari, you're going to have the Turian, you're going to have the Krogan, the Vorsha, things like that. Alcor, they were bit parts in the original trilogy. They were there to fill spaces and to fill that galaxy. They couldn't be part of your team, anything like that. So I think you're going to see a combination of both, and I don't have a problem with this, knowing what they're going to be doing with the game. I have no problem with that.
I think it's good news. Do you want the same thing?
No.
I mean, don't you want new and
yeah, you want to see something new.
Yeah, I think this is okay. This story is one that I'm seeing everywhere, and I'm I don't understand the problem.
And here's the thing: what does it say about a game about space and exploration in a never before discovered galaxy? And you're going to have all the same species? I mean, that's stupid.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
it's No Man's Sky. It's just, that's the problem. You can't complain about it in one game and then expect it from another.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, this story is literally everywhere, and I don't understand what the problem is.
I have no idea.
I can't imagine how fun it would be to play a brand new story of a game that you loved and you already know everything that's going on. Like, how disappointing would that be to not have anything new?
Tell me about it. You play Metal Gear.
I mean, there was...
Ryan, you're such a dick. Quit picking out what everybody fucking plays.
I mean, if you guys would play some good games...
Fucking Dragon Quest Construction, man.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Metal
good.
Gear's not trying to tell you that it's coming up with all new content, but I get what you're saying.
No, yeah, I was really just joking, but I mean, I totally agree. Like, I don't understand what people are upset. Like, they're mad because they can be mad about fucking anything, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be this negative all the time.
I don't have time for that, or the patience.
Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be different because it's a different game.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah. It's supposed to be different. You know, it's going to look different too. Not to just blow your guys' minds, but it's not going to look like it looked before either. Because you're in a different place, right?
You're telling me I'm not going to recognize anything too?
Right. You're telling me I don't know the entire story already?
There's a chance.
Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand what people want. I don't understand why people are so hard to please. I mean, I mean, seriously, it's the same thing they're complaining about No Man's Sky. There's only 3 species. All these planets look the same. And in Mass Effect's like, we're going to have different species. They're like, what the fuck?
Why would you ever want to do that?
I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what you want from me right now.
Right. Can't make you happy. Go the fuck away.
Yeah, so... We should know more December 1st.
I can't wait. I'm super excited for this game.
I can hear how excited Dan is.
Yeah, they're going to show off new gameplay at the Game Awards on December 1st.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that shit.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm going to watch it too, but not for that.
I'm watching it for that. I'm watching it for everything else too, but for that.
And the PlayStation Experience is right around the corner too.
Yeah. You guys going to that this year?
No.
No, I don't think they're doing one here. It's not a big enough city.
I didn't mean Experience. I meant the Expo.
Oh, no. Well, that's not here.
It's in California.
So that's in California. Okay.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
You understand our confusion now, right?
I don't mean the truck. That comes around. I meant the Expo itself. It's coming December, the first week of December, I think.
Sure, it sounds right.
I think it's like the day after the Game Awards.
Yeah, something like that. I think you're right.
Yeah, so we should get some announcements from that. Obviously, we'll see more gameplay from the Horizon will be there. I'm sure Days Gone will be there. All these games that everyone's waiting for. Spidey-Man might be there. Spidey-Man might show up a little bit.
Old Spider-Man.
You know, I think you can expect one big announcement. I think Drawn to Life will be the game that is available right now. For anyone not keeping up with Drawn to Life has gone from a free to play game to now a game that you purchase.
Yes.
It is no longer going to be free to play. They have killed the beta. They're making sure that there is a full-fledged game there that is worth paying for. And it will release as a paid game because their test obviously did not work. Guns Up saw some success. Killstrand fucking tanked.
Yes, it did.
So they have changed the business model for Drawn to Death, and I think it's smarter to sell this game. You know, a lot of people talk about it. When you give a game away for free, there are expectations for that game.
Right.
And it also kind of sends a message that you don't believe in your game enough to sell it. It's not true with everything that's free, but that, you know, a lot of the times that's why it's free is you couldn't have sold it.
But the problem with a lot of the problems you see with free is in order to really make it worthwhile and fun and to be able to have a good time with it is the paywall.
Right.
You got to buy credit. You know, Warframe could be great, but I don't want to buy all that shit to play it.
Right. Or play for 77 hours to be at the same level as someone that spent $15.
Right.
Like, that's not fun to me. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. You know, there are expectations. The Run Mario Run Mario Runner, whatever the hell that thing's called.
I don't think it's called whatever the fuck you just said. I know that.
It's going to be $10, and people are losing their shit because an app shouldn't cost $10. And that's because that marketplace has set the expectation that everything has to be fucking free and rotten with microtransactions. So, it'll be interesting to see what business models work and what doesn't. To a $10 game on your tablet or your phone is kind of high compared to everything else that's there.
Right.
But if it's a full-fledged, thoughtful, like 20-hour experience, or maybe even more than that, then there's no reason that you wouldn't pay that.
Right.
If it was on a console. So, same thing. Giving away a free game on a console, I automatically just assume it's shit or it's nasty with microtransactions, because nothing comes out that's free is awesome.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think it's a weird time right now. I think people are trying to figure everything out.
Think the big announcement's going to be Last of Us 2?
No, I don't. I think they're going to show Sucker Punch's game.
The Spider-Man game?
No, that's not Sucker Punch.
Oh, that's Insomniac. That's right.
Insomniac. Yeah, I think you're going to see Sucker Punch's next game, which is hopefully not Infamous. It's not supposed to be.
I guess.
Do you want them to do something completely different at Sucker Punch? Like, do you want them to go back towards what they did with Sly Cooper, or are you looking for something that's a far cry from everything they've ever done?
Just want them to do something new,
like a race car game.
No,
like
probably not that, but something. Something in their wheelhouse, something they do well. They do open world really well. Like, I don't think they have to get away from that.
Right.
But I think it's okay to not do Infamous. I think it's okay to not do Sly Cooper. And I think it. Go ahead.
I think they might be good at a very linear story, which is something they haven't done before, right? Sly Cooper's kind of open world, open area. Infamous is open area, open world. So was what was that game for the Xbox?
That's Insomniac again.
That's Insomniac?
Yes.
God damn.
Sunset Overdrive?
Sunset Overdrive. Yeah, I think it would be cool to see Sucker Punch do something a little bit more linear in a... I don't mean like The Last of Us, like a zombie game, but in a storytelling angle and not a gameplay angle. Does that make sense? I don't think it's necessarily outside of their wheelhouse, but I'd like to see what they do if kind of by doing something similar but not the same, because their stories are always pretty good. They're just kind of overshadowed by the gameplay. I'd like to see it the other way.
As I'm becoming, I don't know if I'm older or I just want something different, but if you rewind like 2 years ago, like, story was all that mattered to me. I'm starting to be where, like, I just want good gameplay. Like, I don't care what you wrap it in. If it's fun, like, that's what excites me about the NX. Like, I play so many games, and a lot of them have okay stories, but the gameplay is like shit. And I'm just exhausted with that. Like, I just want to play something fun and something that's good and easy to play. Like, Rocket League has no story, and I'll probably play it till I quit playing video games.
Yeah.
Like, I think things like that are okay. Like, the story in Dragon Quest Builders doesn't matter to me at all. It's okay, it's interesting, but the gameplay makes that fun. Minecraft has no story. It's a game I played for hundreds of hours. Like, I'm switching gears into where I want something that is fun to play more than something that's going to tell me a story. I still like story-driven games. I think narrative-driven games have a place, but I almost prefer them in the actual Sunlight or the 3-4 Home, where I can play through it in an hour, or even Firewatch or Gone Home. Like, I prefer them like that versus a 10-hour experience. Like, I just don't have time to take that story in the way it deserves to be taken in. And playing it a week, an hour a week is not the way that story was probably intended to be digested. And I don't have 10 hours straight. I can just sit down and play it. So for me, like, I really just, gameplay is where I'm focused at now. When I look at something, that's why I wanted Mad Max for so long. Like, that game looks fun to me. I don't give a shit what the story is. Like, it looks fun and stupid, and it looks like I can have a good time. And
I get that. I think I'm looking for, and this speaks to where gamers are, like how different gamers are. I think I'm going the opposite direction. I'm looking for I want a universe to be engrossed in, like Mass Effect. You know, I'm looking for something that Metal Gear is all I remember in video game history right now. Like, that's the only story that's ever mattered, because I could be so engrossed with it that I could stay interested. I think I'm looking for a new thing to, like, I need a new thing to come out that gets me, and, like, for the next 20 years, that's the game I can follow. But to speak to what you're talking about, I also play games like that where 5 or 10 minutes is all I have to dedicate. So I do need those gameplay centric games. But I'm like yearning for that new series to come out and like grab me and hold me, and like that's the next, like that takes me through to the end of gaming. And all the stuff like Rocket League is what I get along the way to keep me going in between those big mile markers, you know.
But for me, those big mile markers like Uncharted 4 I loved, but that was a small blip on the radar of what I played in 2016.
Right,
like,
but was it a big landmark?
It doesn't hold a candle to how long I've played Rocket League or how much time I spent in Minecraft. Like, it doesn't even get close to how much I spent in those. Or even like I've put probably 30 more hours, not 30, probably 20 more hours into Dragon Quest Builders than I did Uncharted. Uncharted is clearly a better game as far as total package, but like those one-off experience, those stories that you play through, like I just don't know that they're as important to me anymore. Like, I'm glad I played through them, I'm excited about them, but like I just don't know that they interest me the same way. You know, Fallout, when I got Fallout, I was like the game isn't any better than Fallout 3. And that bothered me a little bit because, like, I don't care about all the story anymore. I don't have time for it. But, like, the gameplay itself to me wasn't what I needed it to be. It wasn't as good. Even though it was fun still, I enjoyed it. It didn't hold me in the way that other things are. And it just seems like gameplay is becoming more and more important to me.
Yeah.
You know, and that I don't want to spend... You know, I could carve out 10 hours, you know, in one sitting to play. I don't want to play like that anymore. I would rather play 3 or 4 hours every night, and that lends itself to games that are fun to play more than games that I'm trying to advance the story in.
I'm still a story and character guy. Universe building, creating a mythology. I'm still into that, regardless of whether it's, you know, a Mass Effect trilogy size experience or a Firewatch size experience, or a Life is Strange sized experience. But I understand what you're saying, and like Matt said, I have those too, but those are not what I fall back on. What I fall back on, what keeps me engrossed in gaming, is the stories and mythologies and universes and characters and plot building and that kind of thing. So I'm almost the exact opposite.
Yeah, I think what I play the most doesn't necessarily stick with me as much as the thing that I enjoy the most. Kind of like, Ryan, you're saying the opposite. To me, those landmark titles are the stuff that I look forward to, and everything else that I play in between, that's just the stuff that kind of keeps me gaming.
But I enjoy that stuff more than I am the 10 hours, is what I'm saying. Like, I understand that's how I play too. Like, I look forward to those things. But when they come out, I'm like, yeah, this was great. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like it's those in between moments that are becoming more important for me because the games are so spaced out. Yeah. Like, you're not getting a good game each month to play and do that through. Like Last Guardian, I can't wait to get it and beat it. But once I do, I'm never going to play that game again. Like, it's just going to be a week of my life that in 6 months I won't even be able to tell you what happened. And I know that before I play it because I can't remember the story for Uncharted 4. I know I'm not going to remember the story for The Last Guardian. You know, and those are characters I care about. So I just, like, for me, I just want good gameplay. I want something that's fun that I can go back to, that I enjoy. And it doesn't have to have multiplayer, but I think it does have to be something that I can play and enjoy anytime. Like, you know, I want to come home and play certain games. And that is what I think is more important, even though, you know, I still look forward to those big titles and playing them and everything. Like, those games that I want to play are more important to me, like wrestling for you or whatever. I don't know how you feel about WWE, but, like, I want to come home and play Dragon Quest right now. I want to play. I played Rocket League the last 2 nights for 5 hours. Like, I missed that. That's amazing. Like, it's got me, back kind of on track of being normal, and playing Uncharted again wouldn't have done that for me.
Yeah, I think for me, a game like WWE that's my filler, right? It's interesting, and I can stay creative with it, and I'm into it while I'm playing it. But if something else came along, I can drop this and always go back to it. Kind of like Rocket League, right? You can drop it and always go back to it, but you drop it because something that you're more interested in comes out. So when Last Guardian hits, I'm gonna be like, that's one that I'm waiting to come out because I'm ready to play, versus I'm just playing because I enjoy the act of gaming with like with wrestling.
But for me, what's happening is I'm not more excited to go to those other things. Like I will, when I'm playing Last Guardian, I will be thinking about playing Rocket League.
Yeah.
Even though I've waited 10 years to play Last Guardian, and I played Shadow of the Colossus and I played Ico, like it's just not like those experiences for me. Like they're becoming less and less special because I enjoy those moments in between more than I enjoy the moments I've been waiting for.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's part of.
Right. No, I just think it's changing the games I'm looking for, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm paying attention to games that I wouldn't have in the past because I'm looking for things that I will enjoy on that level. Like, I'm looking for things. I'm not looking for the next Rocket League, but I'm looking for things that I can play with someone or alone that I want to play when I go to work and that I want to come home and play.
Yeah.
And, the story stuff's great, but I think I like bite-sized story more than I do a 10, 12, 15 hour. Like, Horizon's going to be great because it's open world and I don't always have to be advancing the story. I can just come home and goof off and play that game and enjoy it. Like, that's okay to me. Days Gone's going to be the same way. Spider-Man will be fucking stupid fun because it's Spider-Man. I'll be swinging off of shit. Like, that's perfect for me. But, thinking about playing a game where I'm just going to play through it for the story and be done, like, I don't know if that just doesn't excite me. I'm going to still keep buying them, I'm going to still keep playing them, but it doesn't excite me. Like, it's like I'm waiting to get back to the things that I enjoy right now more than I'm waiting to find out what happens in the story.
Yeah.
I still listen to the story, though. You should never skip the story. If you're one of those people that skips cutscenes, you're an asshole.
That's true.
I just want to throw that out there. Anyone's story skippers are assholes.
Don't worry.
Yeah, they're just punk ass bitches. Right back where we started.
Bitches know they bitches.
Don't skip the story. Remember, if you have questions or comments for us, you can hit us up, podcast@gamestitch.com. You can also find us on Twitter @game_stitch. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan, and Matt is at GoddamnItMatt. You should follow us all. You should follow us separately. Whatever you want to do, just follow the one you like. That's fine too. And one more time, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GameStitch. $4 away from us picking a game out of our back catalog to play. And remember, we're picking that for each other. So that should be sort of interesting. That gameplay, obviously, we will get that gameplay up on the YouTubes for you to watch. At least some of it. I'm not guaranteeing you that we finished it, but we will play the game from our back catalog.
We will always play the game for a minimum. I say we set a minimum time of 1 hour.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's more than fair, yeah. I'll play that game for an hour.
Yeah.
There's nothing I own that I won't give an hour to, but there are plenty of things I own that I won't give more than an hour to.
Right.
So I think that's okay. We didn't have anything to go over because it's been 2 weeks since we did the podcast on Twitter, did we, Matt?
No, there was nothing special happening on social media. Condolences for you from a lot of our listeners. That was pretty much it. It was a low-key week with the holiday and everything. I don't really think we expected much. We didn't ask a question or anything like that, just because of the time and timing of life,
I do think our contest winners received their packages.
Yeah, we got notice from Garrett that he received his. Lively Manus, we haven't heard from you, but if you got yours, let us know. Send some pictures so that we can share that on our Twitter. If you post it to your Twitter or Instagram, we'll just go ahead and retweet or share. But we definitely want to make sure that you guys got all your stuff and know that you liked it. And then probably be working on a contest coming up here. Probably for the new year, I guess.
It's probably going to get real contesty up in this motherfucker.
Contesty, because that's a word now. Everything's a verb.
Contesty.
Yeah, real contesty. Remember to rate us on iTunes, 5 stars, leave a comment. Or you don't have to do 5 stars if you're one of those weak-ass bitches that Dan was talking about. You could just do 4 or something. But make sure you rate us on there. It helps other people find this podcast. The more people that find this podcast, the more contesties we can do.
Contesties.
Not
to be confused with just testes.
Right in the old contesties. We can just nail you with the contesties.
Contesticles.
Yeah, I like that too.
Contesticles. There we go. Yeah. Now it's Greek.
It is. We end each and every... Well, we were supposed to do Gone But Not Forgotten. I forgot. It's time for the forgettable but my favorite segment. Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past. We dust off something for you, and we tell you why we love it, maybe why you should play it, but at least why we love it. And it's my turn to go this week. It is.
So what do you got for us?
This one has been played by everyone, but I just don't want us to forget it.
Okay.
My selection for Gone But Not Forgotten is Crazy Taxi.
Oh, man, how good.
Mm-hmm.
I know we all know it, and I know we all right now remember it.
Right.
But there could be a point down the road where we start to forget this game, and I don't think that's acceptable.
And we cannot? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
We cannot allow this to happen?
Just think about how good it was to take someone to the KFC.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Or to the church, or to the helipad. And how many hours of fun that you had with that game. Obviously, I'm talking about the arcade sit-down version.
Mm-hmm.
More so than the Dreamcast version?
Yeah, the Dreamcast was fun. It was fun. You know, it was nice to have it at home.
Sit-down version.
No, and I don't trust the arcade stand-up version, which is mostly what you see now because of the space.
Right.
Yeah.
But the arcade sit-down Crazy Taxi is it's incredible. It's so like Sega when you play it. Like it feels like Sega.
Yep.
Like everything about it feels like Sega. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like goofy and the arrow's too big and it just feels like Sega and the cars are floaty and but that game is awesome. And I would love to see them come out with a new Crazy Taxi for arcades. Because Sega's still very much alive in the arcade scene. So is Nintendo. Like you can do Mario Kart in the arcades and stuff like that. So I would love to see Sega come back with a Crazy Taxi that mattered. I don't know that you could bring it out for consoles, but you could definitely do something in the arcade. So that's my Gone But Not Forgotten. If you guys have one for us, make sure you hit us on Twitter at @game_stitch using the hashtag GBNF. I forgot the hashtag for a second. Think about how good Crazy Taxi was.
Crazy Taxi. Take me to the Levi's store.
Yeah, and you're like, you're damn right I will. I know where it's at because I've played this game for hours. Don't mind me drifting around the corners and cutting through the park.
All right, you'll be fine. Just hang on tight.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this is a crazy ride. And you're like, shut the fuck up and pay me.
$7.84.
Remember how good it felt when you picked up someone right where you dropped somebody off and they were just going right down the street?
Yep.
Yeah.
You could see the glowing building from where you were at, and you were like, damn.
Yep.
You're welcome.
And there's another fair, like, right there.
You could have just walked, but you're welcome.
Yeah.
But then you pick up somebody, and he's going all the way to the other side of the fucking country, and you're like, great, asshole. Great.
Anybody going to KFC can die. KFC was like the hardest one to get to.
The helipad always pissed me off.
Yeah.
Unless you were grabbing them from the church, because then it was just up the hill and it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, but the church, you had to dodge the trees, man. The church was tough to get to, too.
Yeah, but if you were already at the church, you picked them up going to the helipad, it was fine.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty good because just at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, it was good. The game was good. We end each and every episode with a segment we like to call One Final Thing with Uncle Dan. This week, it's no different. Maybe.
It's no different. Don't worry.
Okay. Should have checked with you first.
I just like doing that. It's so much fun. I'm just another little tip this week. I've already hit on it. I'm just going to go easy. Do not move into a new house and have a party for 25 people within the same week. Don't do it.
Dan, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think you're the only person that needed to be told that.
Yeah.
We already know.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Right. Yep. This has been episode 202 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we will be back next week. Same time, same place.
Good night.
Good night. Go Giants.